Action!
Have you ever wondered what is dry ice? Why do we refer to it as dry? And why does it give away so much smoke? And why is it so cold? So cold that if you're not a trained scientist, you cannot hold it with your bare hands.
Cut!
So, what is dry ice? Dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide, or more commonly referred as CO2. It's a very, very cold substance, much colder than water ice. In fact, pure water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius, while carbon dioxide does the same at minus 78 degrees Celsius. It's pretty cold. In fact, if you were to touch dry ice with your bare hands, you might get frostbite. And trust me, that's not really what you want to do. Now, why do we call it dry ice? Why dry? Well, pretend we had water ice here and we put it on this block at room temperature. What would the ice do? Exactly, melt, leaving a little pond of water around. Well, dry ice does not. And the reason for that? Why it's not melting? If we leave it here, in a while, we won't see anything anymore. It's kind of disappear. Can things disappear? Not really. Dry ice actually sublimates. What does that mean? It means that from its solid state, so from a solid, it becomes directly gas, skipping entirely its liquid state. Now that you know what it is, it's time to run some very cool experiment. Before we start though, do not attempt this at home unless you have parents' supervision and approval, because it can get quite dangerous. Now, we have said that dry ice is a very cold substance. Do you remember its temperature? Yes, minus 78 degrees Celsius. We also said that dry ice sublimates and turns into a lot of smoke around you. Do you remember what sublimates mean? Yes, it goes from its solid state straight away to gas. Now, have you noticed that if you breathe on dry ice, or if you put it on a very hot thing, it starts to sublimate faster? Or let's see. Why is that? Well, we said that it's a quite cold substance, and right now in a room there are about 24 degrees, 22 degrees, while my breath is at about 37, 36.5. So it's much hotter. So the hotter it gets the air around it, the more sublimation I have. Have you ever wondered what is this smoke that is coming out from the dry ice? Naturally, you might think is carbon dioxide leaving its solid state. Well, no. Carbon dioxide, as the majority of the gases on Earth, are colorless and odorless. So you cannot actually smell it or see it. So, what it is? What is this quite nice smoke that comes out from it? Well, it's another substance. Now, pay attention because this gets a little bit difficult. Dry ice is very cold, right? So the CO2 that is becoming gas, it's also very cold. And it makes all the air around it cold as well. Now, air is a mixture of different gases. We breathe oxygen, there is nitrogen, CO2, and water vapor. Now, what is water vapor? Water vapor is simply the gaseous state of water. It turns out that water vapor is also colorless and odorless. So what you're actually seeing here, you're seeing fog, are because the air around drops dramatically in terms of temperature, water is pushed in becoming small droplets of water that are visible. Quite cool, huh? So, time to experiment. Now, what do you think is going to happen if I put this dry ice, a fist of dry ice, inside water? Can you make any prediction? Let's try. Ready? Whoa, much more smoke, right? Do you remember what the smoke is made of? Exactly, water droplets, very small water droplets. Now, why does sublimation speed up in water? Well, water molecules inside this conic flask are much more. So they are in contact with dry ice surface in a more efficient way. And a combination of the fact that water transfers temperature much faster than air does and much more efficiently, as you can see. Now, I wonder, what happens if we change the water temperature? What if I get a much hotter water? Would that change? What do you think? Why don't we try? Now, here I have about 95 degrees Celsius water. Dry ice is minus 78. The previous conic flask was at about 24, 22 degrees. What do you think is going to happen? Let's see. Watch carefully, huh? Ready? That was super cool. Now, can you guess why the reaction was so violent? What did we say? What happened when I breathe on dry ice? Why do we see more smoke? If you guessed because of the difference of temperature, you guessed it right. Hot water is, as I said, about 95 degrees right here, and dry ice is minus 78. The difference between the two is huge, and that's why the reaction is so violent. Another cool thing about the smoke is that, as you can see, it goes down. That's because it's extremely cold, and that's denser than the air around. And guess what? You can pour it. I hope you have enjoyed the video and that now you can share a lot of knowledge about dry ice. Please, if you have any questions or comments, write down below, as well as make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. And Thanks for watching.